Hi everyone, I'm Edyta Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts. Welcome to Quilting Window. I am so thankful you took the time and wanted to quilt with me. I have something super special prepared for you. It is time for our block number 2 for our Super Bloom block of the month. Oh, it is so wonderful to see all the beautiful pictures of finished block number 1. Guys, you've done amazing with it. I'm so proud of you. Today, we're gonna move on to our block 2. This one is just delightful. We're gonna make a lot of cute little quarter square triangles and we're gonna set them up into a small Ohio start block. 4 of them combined together will make a wonderful block number 2. Let's see what's in our quilting basket. You can use pre-cut blocks like I am going to do it today, or you can go ahead and cut your own fabrics from a Super Bloom collection. At this moment we're sold out of a lot of the fabrics from Super Bloom, but do not worry, MOA is on its way. So anybody that want to join us in later on, you'll be able to do this. Or just dive into your own scraps, pull them out and start making wonderful blocks. The directions for cutting are in our Super Bloom pattern. I'm going to also use Oracle thread 2310, and I have always liked to put a fresh needle 70 from Macrotex. It's gonna work wonderful for us today. All right, so I'm gonna work with the pre-cut pieces. If you are cutting your own fabrics, make sure you follow the direction on under the block number 2 for cutting. And we are going to start with this really cute quarter square triangle unit. Oh, this is gonna be our first step. That's what we need first. All right, so for a quarter square triangle unit, we're going to need 2 light, just like this. And you're gonna ask me now, what is quarter square triangle unit? How do you cut those triangles? You're gonna cut a square, you're gonna cut it twice diagonally for 4 quarter square triangle. I'm gonna use 2 right here, and the other 2 I'm going to use in a next piece right here. So also I need a pink quarter square triangles. We're gonna be making 8 of those units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice the pink is different than this pink, and this has a blue instead of a light. So first we just focus on this little quarter square triangle unit. First step, we're gonna grab a pink, we're gonna take a light, we're gonna place them right side together, and we're gonna stitch. I always keep my light on the top. It's like cream on the top of a coffee. It just reminds me that everything is gonna later on lay out the right way. So. I have already done one for you guys. Look at this. I just finished sewing. I used my 1/4 inch seam allowance and I did a chain sewing because I am going to need a lot of those. So 16 just of this unit, 8 total for the whole block for quarter square triangle. All right, as soon as you finish sewing, you're going to, and I finger press. Why do I do finger press? Because this edge is so delicate and it stretches if you put an iron on. So I just gently finger press and I open it up and I push my seam allowance towards the pink. Look how pretty they look. Now with just one little turn like this, I have 2 pieces that are perfect to make quarter square triangle unit, also known as a broken glass square. So right there, I matched it up the seam. I'm gonna grab one of my pins. I'm gonna pin it just gently right there, and I pin it right next to my stitch line next to it, so that way I can grab it and make sure that as I start sewing the fabric approach here, everything is gonna match up. I've done one for you guys. Look at this. Finish stitching, and again you can use chain sewing technique, so you would have 8 of sets like this for the whole block. And look at this, before I open it up in the front, I'm going to go ahead and pull it back here, pull it gently, and now look at what happened to the seam in the back. It opened up really nice, and I have a tiny little square right there. Then I flip it to the front, and this time press it beautifully with an iron, and you are going to have a wonderful quarter square triangle unit just like this. As soon as I finish, I'm gonna grab my ruler, my rotary, place it right over. Notice it, I'm going to match my 45-degree line with the middle seam. Beautiful, perfect, centered up, and I'm gonna trim it. Trimming is very important as you're working on things, because if you're trimming, then you can go ahead and have a beautiful units that fit perfectly into the block. I like trimming quite a bit. And when I'm sewing, remember, make sure you adjust your 1/4 inch that it's nice and shy, just beautiful. So you do have a little bit room to trim, because you didn't cut those fabrics. So the ones that are pre-cut doesn't give you much room for trimming and squaring things up. So right there, I just finished my first quarter square triangle unit. And like I said, we're going to have to make 8 of those. So this is the first one. There is a second quarter square triangle unit, and this one is made from 2 pink. It's a different pink than the first one, so pay attention to it. Match it up with the pattern. Make sure you put your dark blue, put the light. Look how nice this look. Now I'm gonna grab those together, right sides together. I'm gonna keep my blue on the top, and I'm gonna do the same thing right here, but this time I'm gonna keep my light on the top. Zoom, 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 stitch. As soon as you finish stitching, notice it, I'm gonna open it up, push my seam allowance towards the pink. Oh, this looks wonderful. You know, right here I can tell this handy little tool will come right in place where I can make sure that my seams are laying really nice. I use this as my little pressing tool, not to pull too hard. Notice the curve on my pressing tool. I just slide that curve and open that seam really nice. Now look at those 2 pieces. All that I need to do, rotate to make a match, and now match that seam allowance. Perfect. Let's grab a pin, pin it in place, stitch it. As soon as you finish stitching, wonderful quarter square triangle unit. Make sure you open it up, press it with an iron this time, and you are ready to grab your ruler and rotary, place it right over, match it up that 45-degree angle. Super. I am so excited. And remember, you're not gonna only make one, you're gonna go ahead and you want to make more than one. You're gonna make 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 for that center little area of our block. So right there, I didn't trim this side, so I better put it back on my table. Match, match, right there. And this time I'm paying attention. This is right in the middle. It's a little bit off, so I bring it back up. I make sure that this is 2.5, this is 2.5. If you make your units the exact size that you needed, it makes the next step so nice and easy, because that way everything is gonna fall in place exactly as you desire. So we have just finished 8 of those and 8 of those. As soon as you finish those, we're gonna lay out our first block, and we're gonna start with the simple one right here. This unit right here is a small Ohio star. We need to make 2 of them. One for here and one for here. So let me lay my pieces out and see how everything looks. I'm following the pattern, and I'm gonna lay those out. And right there, oh, this needs to be on this side. Perfect. All right. So I have 2 blues onto the outside. All my lights right here, matched it up. I'm gonna need a beautiful blue center. Perfect. And I'm gonna place this here, right there, right there. So I have 4 solid squares. Wonderful. I'm gonna double check. Yes, super. The blues are out. Everything looks good. I just have to sew it together. So right there, I'm gonna place this right side together, sew it, do the same on this side, and sew into 3 rows. Your seam allowances will be pushed towards the solid square right here. So to the outside, to the inside, to the outside. Then I'm gonna grab it, sew my rows together, and in no time, I'm gonna have a beautiful block just like this. This seams right here will go towards the center. Once I made this block, of course, the first thing I'm gonna beautifully press it, but then I go ahead and make a second one. You need 2 of them, and they are wonderful. You're gonna place this block here or place it right here. So just rotate. You don't need anything special. Both blocks are exact the same. You just rotate them into the large block. Perfect. All right, as soon as you finish 2 of those, look, I have mine done. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out my second block. Let's lay it out. This time I need quarter square triangles. Let me get those going. I have 2 of them. Quarter square triangle, 1, 2. Then I need a blue center. Perfect. And this time I need again my blue right here, my quarter square triangle with my blue. So this right here, and I notice this time instead of 4 light, I only have 3, and 1 square in a corner is red. That is gonna give us a 4 patch for the center of our block. So needs to be red right here. Super. Again, you're gonna sew it into 3 rows, just like this. Sew it together. Make sure you pin it. Push your seam allowance towards the outside, towards the inside, towards the outside. Wonderful. Then go ahead, sew your rows together. 3 rows make a beautiful, beautiful star. Seam allowance needs to be pushed towards the center, the seam allowance towards the center. And in a moment, I'm gonna explain to you why I did push seam allowance towards the center, because as soon as finish 1, I'm going to go ahead, make my second one. Now I have 2 of those blocks, and notice seam allowance are pushed towards the center on both of them. I will take this block and rotate. Notice it, rotate. Now I have my 2 blocks, this one and this one. I'm gonna take this beautiful blocks and I'm gonna add it right here. And notice I'm gonna place it for a moment here. Seam allowance is pushed towards the center, but when I rotate my block, it end up matching perfectly with my previous seam allowances. So all my seam allowance going to lock right here. I'm doing the same thing right there. So it's going to be easy for us to sew it together. All right, I will take this, place it right over, make sure lock, grab a pin, pin it in place, and I want to point to something. Do you notice the crossing of the threads right here? X marks the spot. This is when you're sewing, you need to pay attention that you go through this crossing right down here, so that way you get wonderful, wonderful points matching right there. Wonderful matching right there. So sew it right down, another block, flip it right over, match it up. Oh, this looks great. Now sew it straight down. This time we can't see the X mark the spot from this side, but boy, we can beautifully see it from this side. So we should put our pin right through it to help us visualize where we need to stitch, or just take this block, stitch it so you can see. Just remember to place it back down, open it up, and make sure that everything is laying where it's supposed to. Once you sew your 2 rows together, blocks into 2 rows, now just sewing them together, and you have a beautiful block number 2 that it's ready, set, go for our lovely quilt. I am so thankful and so excited that you took the time and wanted to quilt with me. In no time, you're gonna have all your blocks done. Next month, I'm looking forward to doing the block number 3 with you. Oh, what a delightful, beautiful block. This one is great to make a whole quilt with it. It gives such a beautiful secondary design to this. So I'm looking forward to that one. But for now, practice your quarter square triangle unit, make a beautiful block number 2, and I am looking forward to quilt some moa with you. And like I said, moa of our Super Bloom collection is coming up to you shortly. We will have moa pre-cuts and yardage and everything you need. And yes, for everybody that has been asking, we will have moa kits for our Super Bloom block of the month available. So you will be able to get those and catch up and maybe stitch with us. Also, want to bring your attention, we have a brand new collection coming up. I just got those pieces. This is our perfect union. Oh, perfect for Memorial Day weekend stitching. Those are coming up June, July. So I'm already stitching with those. A wonderful projects for you guys, but you're gonna have to wait just tiny bit. So this one is brand new. I want to bring attention to you with this piece, the beautiful birds, and one of my personal favorites, this one right here with the gold stars on it. So let's celebrate Memorial Day weekend. Remember, and happy quilting. Thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website at laundrybasketquilts.com for all your quilting needs.